Hi, good day to all of you. I am Marlena M. Sahibul and I am the second presenter of this group, which is the Group 1. And I hope you will get a lesson from our topic. So, my first topic is syntactic processing. Second is speech production. Third is lexical selection. Fourth is application and misapplication of rules. Fifth is planning unit. And the last one is brain and language. So, let's start with syntactic processing. Syntactic processing is the process of analyzing the grammatical structure of a sentence to understand its meaning. This involves identifying the different parts of speech in a sentence, such as nouns, verbs, adjectives, and adverbs, and how they relate to each other in order to give proper meaning to the sentence. For example, consider the sentence, "The cat sat on the mat." Syntactic processing would involve identifying important components in the sentence such as a cat as a noun, sat as a verb, on as a preposition, and math as a noun. Listeners actively build a structural representation of a sentence as they hear it. They must therefore decide for each incoming word what its grammatical category is and how it fits into the structure that is being built. Often, sentences present temporary ambiguities. Temporary ambiguities is the presence of two or more possible meanings with a single sentence or sequence of words, as opposed to lexical ambiguity, which is the presence of two or more possible meanings within a single word. The intended meaning of a syntactically ambiguous phrase can generally, although not always, be determined by the context of its use. The professor said on Monday he would give an exam. This sentence means either that it was on Monday that the professor told the class about the exam, or that the exam would be given on Monday. The chicken is ready to eat. This sentence either means the chicken is cooked and can be eaten now, or the chicken is ready to be fed. The burglar threatened the student with the knife. This sentence either means that a knife wielding burglar threatened on a student, or the student a burglar threatened was holding a knife. Visiting relatives can be boring. This sentence either means that the act of visiting one's relatives can lead to boredom, or that visiting relatives can sometimes make for less than scintillating company. So let's move on to the next topic, which is speech production. Speech production is the process of uttering articulated sounds or words, that is how humans generate meaningful speech. It is a complex feedback process in which hearing, perception, and information processing in the nervous system in the brain are also involved. Speaking is in a sense the byproduct of a necessary bodily process, the expulsion from the lungs of air charged with carbon dioxide after it has fulfilled its function in respiration. Most of the time, one breathes out silently, but it is possible by contracting and relaxing the vocal tract to change the characteristics of the air expelled from the lungs. So let's move on to the third topic, which is lexical selection. Provides a way to deal with what you do when a single word in one language translates to more than one word in another language. The formalism used in Aperture allows you to choose translation based on the lemma and or part of speech of surrounding words. The simplest type of lexical choice involves mapping a domain concept, perhaps represented in an ontology to a word. For instance, the concept finger might be mapped to the word finger. The rain got heavier. The phrase got heavier is used for a value change in precipitation amount when the precipitation is rain. So let's move on to the next topic, which is application and misapplication of rules. Spontaneous errors show that the rules of morphology and syntax are also applied or are misapplied when we speak. It is difficult to see this process in normal error-free speech, but when someone says groupments instead of grouping, ambiguous instead of ambiguous, or blatant instead of bloody, it shows that the regular rules are applied to combine morphemes and form possible but non-existent words. Inflectional rules also surface. The UCLA professor who said we swim in the pool knows that the past tense of swim is swam, but he mistakenly applied the regular rule to an irregular form. We also see evidence of the application of morphonemic rules rather in production. Consider the a or an alternation rule in English. Errors such as birdie bird for the intended and early bird show that when segmental misordering changes a word beginning with a vowel to a word beginning with a consonant, the indefinite article also changes to conform to the grammatical rule. Clearly, the rule applies or perhaps reapplies after the stage at which early has slipped to barely. Similarly, an error such as been, beg, pronounced been beg, for the intended big Ben, made by an announcer during the 2012 Olympic Games in London, shows that allophonic rules apply or reapply after more phonemes are misordered. If the misordering occurred after the phonemes had undergone allophonic rules such as nasalization, the result would have been the phonetic utterance been bed. So let's move on to the fifth topic, which is planning unit. We might suppose that speakers' thoughts are simply translated into words one after the other via a semantic mapping process. Grammatical morphemes would be added as demanded by the syntactic rules of the language. The phonetic representation of each word in turn would then be mapped onto the neuromuscular commands to the articulators to produce the acoustic signal representing it. Speakers with agrammatic apathesia show incremental word-by-word production for structurally simple synthesis requiring retrieval of multiple noun lemmas. However, when sentences involve functional, thematic to grammatical structure building, advanced planning strategies are example was that is was encoding are used. This early use of hierarchical syntactic information may provide a scaffold for impaired GE in ungrammatism. So let's move on to my last topic, which is brain and language. Attempts to understand the complexities of human cognitive abilities and especially the acquisition and use of language are as old and as continuous as history itself. What is the nature of the brain? What is the nature of human language? And what is the relationship between the two? Philosophers and scientists have grappled with these kinds of questions over the centuries. But modern advances in brain technology have enabled, enabled researchers to study the brain-language connections in ways scarcely rather in imagined in early times. The study of the biological and neural foundation of language is called neurolinguistics. Neurolinguistics research is often based on the data from a, a typical or impaired language and uses such data to understand properties of human language in general. So that's all for my topic. So the other topic we'll discuss with my co-member. So that's all. Thank you.